On this Holocaust Remembrance Day, a special event at the Center for Jewish History. It has been 1 year since the opening of the Anne Frank exhibition, and students from across the city have been learning about Anne Frank and her diary, as well as hearing from Holocaust survivors. We spoke to one survivor who has spent the last 15 years sharing her story with students.
Today is a special day, but every day should be a special day. We should respect each other, understand each other.
Huge responsibility to learn the lessons of the Holocaust and to make sure that that will be the case also for the years to come.
The Anne Frank exhibition runs through Sunday, February 1st at the Center for Jewish History in Chelsea.
6:08 right now. Today marks International Holocaust Remembrance Day. The Center for Jewish History on West 16th Street in Chelsea is marking the day with several events for area students. For the last year, the museum has been home to the Anne Frank exhibition, which will remain on view until Sunday. Multiple school groups will tour the exhibit today, which will be open to the public free of charge. Tonight, 2 Holocaust survivors will meet with students from Xavier High School and Dream Charter School.
Today is International Holocaust Remembrance Day, which marks the liberation of the Auschwitz concentration camp. It happened 81 years ago.
It is also a day to remember the 6 million Jewish victims of the Holocaust and the millions of other victims of Nazi persecution. And with increased Holocaust denialism right now and the number of survivors growing even smaller, it's more important than ever to say never again. Here's News 4's Andrew Siff.
Imagine the words of Anne Frank still inspiring kids her age, more than 80 years after her death.
I actually read her book before, and just being here and being able to see the details and her courage and how brave she was really connected me to my Jewish heritage.
An eye-opening experience for 6th grader Oliver Monosavian and his classmates at the Schechter School from Long Island.
You get to see what it was like back then, to be in that time, how hard it was.
They're inside the Anne Frank exhibition, now in its final week at the Center for Jewish History on West 16th Street. Michael Glickman is the exhibition advisor.
The Anne Frank House is the most visited Jewish historical site in Europe. Part of the challenge is that they're essentially always at capacity.
A chance to show visitors what it was like for Anne and her family to live in hiding from the Nazis in Amsterdam, says 6th grader Sam Warchowski.
It was one of the most pivotal moments in history.
Pivotal because even though Anne Frank died in a concentration camp at age 15, her father Otto survived and saved her diary, now read by an estimated 30 million people in every imaginable language, with a renewed meaning each year on International Holocaust Remembrance Day.
We all have a responsibility to keep telling the stories that 6 million Jews were murdered, 1.5 million of them Jewish children.
And the number of Holocaust survivors dwindling. 196,000 survivors worldwide, 31,000 of those in the U.S. The ages of those who lived to tell what happened to them between 79 and 100 plus.
I think as we move into a time where we have fewer and fewer survivors, eyewitnesses to what happened during the Holocaust, it gives us more responsibility to ensure that we're getting as many people through this experience and through other institutions that are telling stories about the Holocaust.
The final day for Anne Frank, the exhibition here in New York, is February 1st. It will then be moving on to other U.S. cities. In Chelsea, Andrew Siff, News 4 New York.
It is so important to hear these first-person accounts, and Anne Frank's diary, one of the most read books in the world.
That's right, and that exhibit here in New York is really
World War II. And dozens of students from the Tri-State braved the cold today to honor International Holocaust Remembrance Day. Anne Frank, the exhibition, is on display at the Center for Jewish History in Chelsea. The exhibit has welcomed hundreds of thousands of visitors to date and has given away thousands of diaries to children and students. The executive director of the Anne Frank House tells us why International Holocaust Remembrance Day is so important.
With ever fewer survivors in our communities and our societies, and with anti-Semitism on the rise, I think we feel a huge responsibility to tell the story of the Holocaust, to keep the memory of the Holocaust alive, which is still hugely relevant for our societies.
Today also marks 1 year since this exhibit opened in Chelsea, where it will remain on view through Sunday.
Unfortunately, history is repeating itself. One would have never thought, 81 years later, we are at this point.
As we mark International Holocaust Remembrance Day, 2 survivors share their stories and lessons for the next generation. Well, the Empire State Building, you can see here, ablaze with yellow lights tonight to mark International Holocaust Remembrance Day.
Yeah, meanwhile, the Center for Jewish History held a special event where 2 Holocaust survivors shared their stories. Grace Gomez spoke with them about why educating the next generation really is so important. Grace.
Yeah, Corey and Shirley, both women tell me they regularly speak to young people about their experiences and say those conversations are especially critical amid a rise in anti-Semitism here in New York City. Dozens gathered Tuesday evening at the Center for Jewish History to honor the millions who lost their lives in the Holocaust.
It is the International Holocaust Remembrance Day, and it was also simultaneous with the liberation of the horrible concentration camp Auschwitz.
Gabriela Major was just 2 years old when her family faced unimaginable loss.
27 members of my extended family, including my grandparents, were murdered. The Germans were losing the war, and they had to quickly annihilate the Jews of Hungary.
Toby Levy was 8 years old, living in Ukraine when the Holocaust upended her childhood.
But when my father comes and tells to my mom that the Germans are going to relocate us to Lvov, my father says, I don't believe them. They're going to shoot us all outside of the city. We're going into hiding.
Levy and her family hid for 2 years to survive. During that time, her father asked her to make a promise.
If we make it, you go to school, get educated, and you will have to tell the world. I fulfilled his wishes.
Both women now dedicate their lives to educating younger generations about the Holocaust and its lasting lessons.
When I speak to children, I said, Jews alone cannot solve that problem. I need you all to help us.
They warn that remembering history is essential, especially as hate resurfaces.
Unfortunately, history is repeating itself. One would have never thought, 81 years later, we are at this point.
And by the way, the Anne Frank exhibition is currently on display at the Center for Jewish History through February 1st. Both women encourage New Yorkers to visit and learn more about this history. Reporting live in the newsroom, Grace Gomez, Pix 11 News.
Yeah, they are important lessons for all of us. Grace, thank you.